Hello and welcome back to What the If, where you can hear the best what ifs on YouTube. Today is part 2 of my What If Jonathan and Dio Fought the Pillarmen series. So if you missed part 1, be sure to find that on my channel. But if you're ready, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like while the intro plays and the video starts. After the vampire's meticulous attack on the Joestar mansion, JoJo is left in shambles. JoJo yells out for one of his father's butlers to call for help, while he carries his father upstairs, unable to bear the thought of leaving him on the cold floor. Dio follows close behind JoJo, carefully studying every inch of the house for any clues or information about their attackers. But quickly he notices Jonathan's struggle and gives him a moment alone. Dio thinks to himself about George's final words to him. I wonder if that old man really thought of me as a son. But knowing that fool didn't write me into his will before he rolled over and died, while infuriating, at least gives me time. But should I even waste my time with this suicide mission? Vampires? Stone mask? This is also bizarre. But that man Zeppeli, he fought the vampires as if he was their equal. If I could learn that power, I'm sure I could master it well beyond that freak. Or, if I get that mask, I could be the most powerful vampire alive. Either way, it seems I may need to work with Zeppeli, or even worse, that pig JoJo. Dio in that instant formed his plan. He walks over to Jonathan saying, "Now's not the time for crying. The police will be here any second now asking questions, and we don't need to cause fear to the public and make ourselves look like the boys who cried vampire. We will still tell the police the truth, that some men broke into our home and robbed us and killed our father. That's all they need to know. After that, it'll be up to us to get revenge." Jonathan takes a deep breath and stands up. "I don't want revenge, Dio. I want justice for my father's murder, and to bring that stone mask back where it belongs." Dio smiles. "Sounds like revenge to me. But whatever you want to tell yourself." Dio extends his hand to Jonathan, and they both lock arms and vow to get the stone mask back together. As Dio and Jonathan turn away, they hear footsteps going up the stairs. They both ready for anybody, but with a quick rush of air, Zeppeli glides into the room, a bit too happy for the situation. Zeppeli collects himself and offers his condolences for those lost, but continues by telling them there is good news in this despair. Jonathan of course is happy, but Dio is skeptical, but stays silent for now, intent on gaining Zeppeli's trust, just as he had tried with the Joestars. Zeppeli continues saying, "I managed to stop one of the vampires and get some information. Supposedly the vampire with the stone mask is off to a train station near Ogre Street." Dio quickly adds, "They shouldn't be able to make it to Ogre Street by morning. They will most likely have to stop and hide for the day, giving us enough time to beat them to the station, maybe set up some sort of trap." Zeppeli nods at Dio, impressed by his quick thinking. And Zeppeli agrees, saying, "Yes, exactly. That's why I wanted to ask you boys to come with me. Y'all's fates are now linked to that stone mask, and I just know you must want answers. So, let's go. Together, I'm sure we can stop that mask from hurting anyone else." Dio agrees, eager to use JoJo and Zeppeli to further his own goals, while JoJo is eager to right the wrongs done to his family. But with this, a new team is formed, and though they all have different reasons, each one has decided to put all their resolve into reclaiming the stone mask. JoJo and Dio quickly grab what they will need for their trip, Dio spending extra time carefully planning out his trip, while JoJo quickly packs up before leaving instructions for his butlers watching over the estate, then slips away to say farewell to Arena. JoJo spends the last moments he can with his love before he and the other mask hunters rush off to London. On their travels, Zeppeli makes time to unlock Dio and Jonathan's ability to use Hammond breathing, with the same trick from the anime. So with a quick jab to the stomach, both young men begin to breathe properly and start learning and developing their ripple ability. So when they reach London, both Dio and Jonathan have an obvious confidence about them, further distinguishing them from the crowd and placing a target on their backs. Zeppeli, noticing all the extra eyes, tells his students it's time to split up and find out where the vampires are meeting. Dio speaks up, bragging, "I was born in London. I'll see what I can do. It shouldn't take long for me to find out where those vampires are heading." Dio casually walks off, leaving Zeppeli and Jonathan on their own to navigate the busy streets as they try weaving in and out of the roaring crowds of people. The three men head to all the worst locations they could, pubs, seedy hotels, and black markets, but every path seems to only lead to another dead end. And even worse for the mask hunters, after hours of searching, the sun will be going down soon. Somewhere in town, Dio tosses a glass bottle down an alleyway, hoping to let out some of his frustration, but it does little, subduing his building rage. Within seconds though, the noise of Dio's tantrum piques the interest of several locals. Seeing Dio's fine nobleman clothes, they instantly think of him as an easy target. Several street thugs foolishly surround Dio, demanding he hand over his wallet and any other valuables he has. But Dio just laughs to himself. This will be a much better way to let off some steam and see what these new abilities Zeppeli gave me can do. With a quick breath, Dio empowers himself and unleashes a barrage of kicks, knocking out several of his attackers before facing the few remaining. "You are all useless street trash. Either tell me what you know about anyone searching for a stone mask, or leave before I end your pathetic lives." The London gangsters are clearly shaken by Dio's dominating presence, despite their number advantage, leaving them almost too intimidated to move. Dio laughs. "Well, if you have nothing to tell me, you truly are useless." But before Dio can finish, a voice calls out, "Hey, tough guy, you can't visit Ogre Street without introducing yourself to me." A man hops down from the rooftops, exclaiming, "The name's Speedwagon, and I won't let you disrespect our home." The gangsters surrounding Dio seem to gain a second wind as they cheer for Speedwagon and join in on his threats to Dio. Speedwagon steps closer to Dio, still waiting for a response. But as he gets closer, Speedwagon can tell Dio is a man not to be taken lightly. Dio smiles. "Fine, you want an introduction? You can have one. I am a man on an important mission, a mission I will complete no matter what. So, if you or anyone in your little gang has heard about a stone mask, I, Dio, want to speak to them." Speedwagon steps back as Dio leans forward, almost subconsciously. "You know, Dio, I've learned to judge a man's character quite easily in my line of work, so I'm confident in saying you're rotten to your very bones. I couldn't help but see it as soon as my eyes locked onto you. I don't have any information for you, but even if I did, I wouldn't say a word to you." Dio is still, for a moment, then he strikes. In the blink of an eye, Dio connects with a stiff punch, sending Speedwagon backwards and onto the floor. Dio is instantly jumped by the gangsters still surrounding him, but he easily and savagely escapes their hold, throwing them around like children with his newfound strength. Speedwagon slowly picks himself off the floor, now fully aware of Dio's depravity, as he is forced to see Dio's merciless fighting style and attitude firsthand. This guy Dio is vicious, throwing every strike as if he wish it would kill. I can't let this go on, or he may kill all of us. Speedwagon finally catches his breath and shouts out, "Hey, tough guy, your fight's with me, not them. Let's me and you settle this like men and leave them out of it." Everyone, including Dio, stops after hearing Speedwagon's words, but Dio is the only one to laugh. "Are you brave or just a fool?" Dio walks closer, saying, "If that's your wish, then I will gladly grant it." Dio readies himself for one last deadly strike, telling himself, "I know I'm faster than he is, and just like before, he'll have no way to stop me. This fight is already over," Dio thinks, as Speedwagon's mind is racing. "I don't think I can get out of this one. If I run, surely he will kill me, or worse, them. And I know I can't beat this guy, but I have to try." Speedwagon readies himself for battle, sliding his hat off his head and onto his hands. "I know this guy's fast, so I'll need to focus everything into reading his first movements, and hope I can slice him before he kills me." Again, in a split second, Dio lunges forward, now armed with a knife he pulled out of his pocket. Speedwagon is stunned and unable to react in time as Dio closes the distance with murderous intent. Speedwagon shuts his eyes and accepts his fate. But nothing happens. He opens his eyes to see a man even bigger than Dio standing in front of him. Jonathan has appeared, hearing the commotion, and stepped in. Jonathan, with his hands around Dio's wrist, asks, "What the hell's going on here?" Dio yanks his hand away, explaining, "I was attacked by these street rats while looking for information. Maybe I got too serious, but I didn't start this fight, JoJo." Jonathan looks to Speedwagon, who clearly is already defeated, and tells Dio, "Well, it seems like this fight is over anyways, so let's just leave. We still have important business to finish anyways." As Speedwagon watches Jonathan say words so similar to Dio's, he can tell Jonathan isn't on this mission for his own selfish reasons like Dio, but for something he truly believes is right. Speedwagon feels a sudden urge to help Jonathan, but can only say, "I'm sorry, I truly have never heard of this mask you're looking for, or anyone else looking for it." Jonathan kindly turns to Speedwagon and thanks him for his honesty, before turning back. "See, it's time to go, Dio." Dio doesn't say a word, just grumbles to himself as they both walk off to find Zeppeli. The gangsters all rush to Speedwagon and ask if he's okay, but he assures them he is. "Do you want us to follow them?" one guy asks from afar, but Zeppeli again assures them it won't be necessary. As the sun goes down and night begins to fall over London, a few more hours pass while Dio, Jonathan, and Zeppeli find a place to spend the night. They all try to figure out their next move, but with no leads and the vampires likely in London already, things seem grim. But the silence is cut by a hurried knock on the rented room's door. Jonathan opens it as the gangster from earlier, Speedwagon, rushes inside, clearly panicked. He says, "They attacked us, trying to find you." Jonathan places his hands on Speedwagon's, telling him to calm down if he can. "Catch your breath, then tell us." Speedwagon takes a breath, then explains, "We were attacked, me and my gang. Someone was trying to find the men looking for the mask. He said he knew we met earlier, but I didn't tell them anything. Some man with a few people, or ghouls, I don't know what they were, but they killed everyone, even started eating them like maniacs. I had to hide like a coward just to survive," Speedwagon adds with a frown. "They said they were taking the train to Rome." Zeppeli wonders, if the vampire's going to Rome, could it be he's taking the mask back to the strange site inside the Colosseum? Zeppeli tells Dio and JoJo they need to go fast. "I don't know what the vampires are trying to do, but I might know where they're going, and this time they have a head start." Dio simply nods and packs his things as JoJo tries explaining the situation to Speedwagon. "I'm sorry, but we must leave. We're hunting down the men with the stone mask. I'm sorry you got tangled up in this, but if I don't leave now, even more people will die." Speedwagon looks to Jonathan, then asks, "Can I join you on your mission?" Jonathan and everyone else is shocked, but Speedwagon continues, "Those bastards killed almost everyone I know. There's no telling what they will do if left alive. If you're gonna hunt them, I wanna help." Jonathan tries warning him, this is no normal foe we're fighting, and if you're chasing after vengeance, that is a dangerous path. But Speedwagon assures him that he's not. He tells Jonathan, "When you saved me earlier, I could tell what a good person you were, and it made me wish I could do the same. Well, this is my chance to finally do something good, and I want to take it." Jonathan nods, fine, as long as everyone else is okay with it. And, with no one disagreeing, Speedwagon takes his first steps with the other mask hunters, headed for Italy, hot on the vampire and the stone mask trail. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please remember to like and subscribe so you keep getting recommended everything I post. But I'm done here, so have a great day, and I'll talk to you all next time.